Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning for our listeners out west, and welcome to our webinar. My name is Pollack. I am the Senior Manager of Commercial Product Selling here at Trader, and I'll be your host today. Today's webinar will be presented by our industry expert, Todd Temple. Todd will be giving you an introduction into the velocity method of management and VAuto. Before we begin, I'd just like to go through a couple of housekeeping notes. So there are two ways that you can listen to our webinar today. It's either by using your computer speakers or by dialing in on the toll-free number that you can see on your screen now. So it's 1647-497-9385. And when prompted, please enter the access code of 247-398-582. You'll remain on mute throughout the webinar, but if you have any questions, please type them into the question pane on the right of your screen, and all the questions will be answered at the end of the webinar. I will not delay the webinar any longer, and I'll pass the microphone to Todd. Thank you and enjoy.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to first of all thank you for making the 30-minute time investment here today. I can certainly appreciate the value of time in the car business. The goal today is to provide you with a high-level overview of the strategy that underpins the VAuto software, a strategy that is based on age-old economic principles that apply to most businesses today. The strategy we refer to as a velocity method of management. In today's session, we'll take 30 minutes to talk about Dale Pollack, our founder, the automotive industry, VAuto as a company, and the tools that have become the baseline for the majority of today's top performing dealers. I'd like to let everyone know on the call right up front that I am certainly not a software guy. I'm a car guy who just so happens to be working for a software company. I've spent 20 years in the car business. My career in the car business began in my early teens. I was running an automotive detail shop out of my parents' single car garage. I'd bought myself a dealer plate and went knocking on dealers' doors looking for cars to clean. As time moved on, I attended the Canadian Automotive School of Business, studying business and majoring in automotive marketing. I've spent some time working for an OEM and have worked in every department in a retail operation at one time or another, with the exception of F&I. Now, fortunately, my wife is an F&I guru, currently managing the business office channel across a 13-store dealer group. She quite happily keeps me up to speed on changes in that department, whether I want to know them or not. I've been working with VAuto since its introduction to the Canadian market approximately 7 years ago. The velocity method of management is the cornerstone of VAuto success. It guides decision makers in areas of stocking, appraising, and pricing of used vehicles. It provides a clear roadmap for dealers to understand how each individual piece of inventory is being viewed by in-market shoppers. The only way that we can drive our business into a state of sustainable improvement in profitability is when we have a successful strategy being well executed. A velocity method of management is a strategy that is proven with more than 11,000 dealers applying these principles to their business every day. When effectively being implemented, we have seen dealers drive significant increases to overall operational profitability. Mr. Dale Pollack crafted the velocity method of management and founded VAuto in 2005. Today, he serves as an executive vice president of Cox Automotive. He has 13 years experience as a dealer principal and 8 years as a successful high technology executive, serving the automotive retail industry. He is a highly sought after authority on maximizing dealership profits from pre-owned vehicle operations. Dale has just released his most recent of 4 published books. The book's called Like I See It. Dale truly has incredible vision despite the fact that he is a blind man. I want to speak about the economic fundamentals that were in play when looking at the buyer versus seller of yesterday. After all, the velocity method of management is based on economics. Prior to the internet, used car buyers lack the ability to easily find similar choices and alternatives in the shopping process. Consequently, used vehicle buyers often paid more money than they needed to if they had been able to locate other similarly equipped vehicles at lower prices. Because used vehicles were relatively unique and they were not easily shopped and compared, the market was inefficient. It was balanced in favor of vehicle sellers. Today, of course, things are quite different. The internet has given used car shoppers the ability to easily find identical choices and alternatives. This new transparency has transformed the used vehicle marketplace into what is referred to as an efficient or rational market, defined as a marketplace where buyers and sellers have access to relatively equal amounts of information. The recognition of the transformation of the used vehicle marketplace to one that is efficient is the foundation of VAuto's philosophy and technology. I don't think anyone on the session today would disagree with me when I say that the used vehicle department really is the heart and lungs of a dealership. Its success feeds the sales and profits in new vehicle sales, F&I, parts, and service. A healthy used vehicle operation will fuel the success of your broader business goals. Now, what does implementing a velocity method of management in your used vehicle department really mean? Essentially, for those who have read the book or have seen the movie Moneyball, a velocity strategy emulates the same winning concept that allowed Billy Beane to win the World Series on a shoestring budget. It helps dealers pick the winning cars based on metrics, identifying the cars with the greatest opportunity to turn quickly with an acceptable level of profit margin. Making decisions based on core analytics will ultimately lead to improved overall profitability. In the oversimplified example shown on the screen now, we can clearly see that it's better to sell 3 cars in 90 days for $1,500 net profit each versus selling one at $3,000. You'll gain an extra $1,500 by focusing on inventory turns and executing with a velocity mindset. This basic math, of course, doesn't include the additional contribution to profit that will come from having 3 F&I turnovers versus 1, as well as the additional reconditioning profit picked up on the 3 work orders. You may have heard the phrase, speed is power. When a velocity strategy is being executed correctly, speed also turns to profit. The next slide will illustrate exactly how speed becomes profit. The on-screen illustration contains 2 lines, one that represents the vehicle's market value and one that represents the vehicle's cost. It is common knowledge that vehicles are depreciating assets, and because of this, we know with certainty that the largest opportunity for profit is always on the first day that a vehicle goes for sale. Using our strategy, you will treat your investment or used vehicle inventory as you would a stock portfolio. A decision to hold a stock should be based upon the type of stock and your ability to sell it. The decision to sell it would be based on how much it costs you to keep the stock rather than how much you'd lose if you sold it. Remove the emotion, buy and sell on the money only, as well as the level of opportunity that exists in each piece of inventory. I'd like to share with you now a brief description of the 4 fundamentals that support a velocity management strategy. The first principle or fundamental is called cost to market. This is what you were into the car for versus the live market average price. The next one is price to market. This is the appraised vehicle price demonstrated as a percentage against the live market average price. Market days supply. This is the total number of days it will take to deplete the market of its current inventory. Dale Pollack, our founder, would refer to this metric as the single most important piece of information that you can have to make a buying or pricing decision. It truly is the secret sauce to your success. Days in inventory, this is the leading indicator of your store's ability to turn your inventory in a timely and profitable manner. There are many moving pieces when it comes to successfully executing a velocity strategy. Understanding and aligning with online consumer shopping behavior is paramount to winning. Vehicle price, mileage, and condition are the top drivers that determine whether an online shopper will contact a dealership. Creating maximum visibility and highlighting these specifics will drive consumer engagement. Let's take an objective look at two different types of listings. There are really only two types of listings. Listings that focus on showcasing the story behind the vehicle and listings that don't. Applying investment-minded management principles to your operation just won't matter if you don't present your inventory effectively. In the current slide, I've included a couple of examples of those two different types of listings. If we look at the first listing, we can see that the compelling information is presented right out front. This allows search engines to easily find keywords that a consumer may have included in their search parameters. Next, we can see the story start to unfold. It's written as a customer conversation. Finally, we have the why come see us, why buy from us component to complete the story. The second listing is a copy and pasted piece. It is missing most of the information that we know consumers are searching for today and fails to showcase the story. Now, let's take a quick look at how VAuto software best supports a velocity management strategy. VAuto is a suite of software tools that are designed specifically to support a velocity strategy. The software contains a pricing module designed to provide dealers with a high level of live market visibility, along with all of the pertinent market metrics, allowing dealers to price cars right in their sweet spot from day one. The appraisal module works differently and more effectively than any other evaluation tool. The differentiator is that VAuto works backwards from the real-time live market valuations in your own unique market. Provisioning is designed to help dealers by guiding them in three very specific areas. It helps dealers understand what to buy, how much to pay for it, and where to find it. The next module is called merchandising. It's the newest module, just recently made available in Canada as of this year. These tools help you identify holes in your online merchandising efforts, as well as allowing you to measure and manage inventory from point of acquisition through to point of sale. Finally, we have subprime booking tools available, and they're designed to support dealers with a subprime component to their business. It allows you to view vehicles from point of acquisition to point of sale against their current booking opportunity. Using proprietary technology, VAuto is the first and only inventory management system to provide decision makers with actual real-time supply, demand, and price sensitivity data. The recognition of the importance of this data and the technology to accurately provide such data are the keys to enabling dealers to leverage the natural forces of a rational market, a market that is best served utilizing a velocity-based management strategy. We've covered some of the basics of implementing a velocity-based strategy today, so I wanted to make sure that everyone on the call was able to see how a successful execution of this strategy converts into additional profit. The example on the screen represents an average Canadian dealer. It's shown in a before and after implementation format. On the left side, we have a 30-car lot running at an average days in inventory of 73. That average days in inventory converts into a yearly turn rate of 5. In other words, this dealer turns over their entire used vehicle inventory 5 times per year. When looking at results from the same dealer after moving to a velocity-based strategy, we have seen dealers increase their inventory turn rate by 2.43, meaning that an average dealer would now be turning their inventory at 7.43 times per year. When we include fixed operations and F&I, this average dealer is seeing an annual gain in profit of more than $255,000 annually. I'd like to share with you a couple of quotes from Chris Murray and Chris Emery, dealer principal and general manager, respectively, at Murray Chevrolet. Both Chris's have been longtime dealer partners of ours here at VAuto. We reached out to them and we asked them, can you please tell us how VAuto is benefiting your business and what are the key values that VAuto provides? Chris Emery replied to us by telling us that gives them the ability to track effectively and in one location, track all the things that matter. How many appraisals we are winning, how many appraisals are we seeing? When you have that data in front of you, you're looking at it day in, day out. It allows you to stay on top, to drive those numbers up. As you drive those numbers up, you begin selling more cars and selling them faster. We asked Chris Murray, how do you create best practices around the tools? Chris replied to us by telling us that the biggest advantage is working with the performance manager. With him, we created a lot of the monthly processes. Monthly calls to the stores keeps the general managers accountable and involved in the process of decision making with what is going on. Next, we asked Chris and Chris, what other benefits does VAuto offer you? Chris Murray replied to us telling us VAuto gives sales managers information to make smart decisions and also gives us some tools to be able to show customers market insight into why things are the way they are. Before that, it was gut feel. This is what I think. This is what I feel. Here, we are able to have actual data to show customers why their price is right. This is why you pay X number of dollars for your car, said Chris Murray. Nothing more and nothing less. It is the data to help you make good decisions. You can access all the data you need in one location and fast.
Todd, thank you very much. That was great insight into the velocity method of management. I'm sure that our listeners are eager to get some of their questions answered. So on what they heard, I would just give them a minute to get those questions in. If you haven't already done so, please send us your questions by typing them into the question pane, just on the right of your screen. Okay, it looks like I have one here. So Mike is asking whether he would benefit from the tool. So it looks like that he owns a small dealership and it's in a rural area. So Todd, can you give Mike your opinion?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for submitting the question. I think what I'd like you to know is that our average dealer partner, right? What does an average dealer that's using VAuto and implementing a velocity method of management in their business look like in Canada? That dealer would have approximately 30 cars, and a lot of those dealers would have originally partnered with us at inventory levels at maybe half that size, and we've been able to actually help them grow to that 30-car level.
So do you mind sharing a story with our listeners? It's something that you mentioned to me the other day, and I think it actually fits into the topic right now, and I found it really interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I think I know which story you're referring to, Clarice. It was the very first dealer that I ever spoke to when we launched VAuto in Canada. The dealer was a small dealership. It had an 11-car inventory, and there was one person inside that dealership that wore many hats. That person acted as the general manager, salesperson, and F&I manager. And I went in and I met with that person, and I took them on a tour through our product. explained our strategy. And at the end of that conversation, at the end of that product presentation, that person said to me, Todd, so if I understand what you're showing me here, if I'm able to sell one extra car per month implementing this strategy and using these tools, I'm actually going to make more money. And I looked back at him and I said, you're absolutely right. You most definitely will make more money selling more cars. We signed that dealer up. Within about 18 months, that dealership was able to grow their inventory from an average of around 11 or 12 cars up to a 35 car inventory. They were able to build enough profitability into the department to hire a dedicated used car manager.
Yeah, I think that's a really great story on that one. I just have one more question here from Tyler. So Tyler is asking, how is VAuto different to any other competitive tools that are available out in the market?
Well, sure. Hey, Tyler, again, thanks for sending the question in. I think the first thing that you should know is that VAuto provides a comprehensive digital inventory management solution, not just evaluation. I know there's a number of products out there that do act as just simply an evaluation tool. The other thing to know is that VAuto uses proprietary technology. We use a technology we refer to as auto match. VAuto is also the only product that provides a true and complete live market view. We are undoubtedly the industry leader. We have more than 11,000 dealer partners in North America, and more than 1,500 of those are right here in Canada.
Okay, I don't know if we have any more questions. Okay, so that concludes our webinar today. If we don't have any more questions, I would like to thank you all for joining us, and thank you, Todd, for the great presentation. We do hope that you enjoyed it and found it informative. In our next planned webinar session, Todd will deep dive into the actual tool and the tools inside the tool. So you'd get insight into the individual modules that are available in the tool, their functionalities, and the impact they can have on your business. So if you would like us to inform you of these upcoming sessions, let us know. You can see our contact information on the slide now. Also, if you've got any immediate questions, you can also reach us on there. You will receive a follow-up communication from us. We'll provide you with recording of the webinar, the deck, and also details on how to request Sales Bestseller Velocity 2.0 book. So once again, I just want to thank you for attending. I hope you have a great rest of the day, and goodbye for now from me, Clarice.
And from me, Todd. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.